Hey guys, welcome back to Exit 45, and today we're going to start our next update video, number 3. So let's get going. All right, here's where we're going to start. First thing on my list is to get the front of this engine all built back up. So when it was on the run stand, I didn't want to have a bunch of stuff, and I didn't want a bunch of stuff hanging on it when I was trying to install it in the car. So we kept it as bare as we could while we were doing the engine runs. So really, I think the only couple of things we need to get on here is the power steering pump and the AC compressor. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get that done. All right, so I got the front of the engine built up, pumps on, compressor. So the only thing I have to do is I've got this idler here. I need 2 more belts. I'm just going to have to measure them. So I'll measure around here, and around the crank pulley, and back up here. That'll be 1 belt, and then there'll be a belt between the compressor and the power steering pump. I think the engine is pretty much built up. I think everything's on it that needs to be on it at this point. Damn, it looks good. Hey guys, now that I got that engine taken care of, it's pretty much built up. I got a few small things to take care of, but I don't have what I need for that right now. So we're going to switch over to the electric. I got some loose ends still. I need to go around inside engine bay and tighten up those last few things. And so let's see what we can do. Let's get at it. This is getting a lot of fun, guys. I'm telling you, this build is starting to get kind of exciting. I'm working towards getting to where I can start the car start the engine in the car rather. So yeah, I'm having some fun. I'm glad you guys came along. All right, let's get some electrical done. All right, well, I've got the engine bay pretty much done electrically wise. Came out really good. So let's see what we got. All right, engine was all wired before, but mainly what I did was I got the alternator routed and wired in. I got the starter cable routed and wired in. I got my battery terminals that I needed wired in except for the grounds. We'll deal with the grounds when I put the battery in and the negative cable. I routed my temperature switch or whatever to where it needs to go. The oil pressure, yeah, if you can, there you go, you can see it there. That's been routed and plugged in. The coil wire that is for the car has been just tucked away here. Not going to use it because the EFI system uses its own powering of the coil. So we'll get our power for the coil there. Anyway, there's that. So I think we're going to go inside now and start doing a final tuck and termination of any loose wires underneath the dash. Well, I got the passenger side pretty much taken care of. I got my control unit right there mounted. I got my key powered for the EFI and the AC system hooked up now. So I think we're pretty well settled on the passenger side. So now we got to go play over here, which is my favorite. I like that place. It's always so comfortable. All right, let me get over there and see if I can't clean all that up and get it finalized. All right, so for me to finish and get the wiring underneath here, I'd like to have my linkage all set before I do that. So I've been messing around with it, and of course with this ProFlow system on here, it is really playing havoc with my linkage. When I get my kick down in, first of all, it's hitting on the fuel rail. So that's not helping. The other problem is that the ProFlow manifold is higher than the stock. So I'm not reaching the kickdown lever down at the transmission. That's an easy enough fix. I can weld an extension piece into that rod. But really where I guess I'm having most of my issues is this has to come up high enough for this to be able to go down and activate the kickdown. I'm getting there, guys. It's not easy to do with one hand. This stuff flops all over. It's like trying to hold a eel or something. Right? All right. All right. Come on. Quit fighting me. Anyway, I'm pretty close right here, okay? So this sits like this. This goes through here. This is my throttle linkage. But you can see there's not a lot of clearance in this area. And every time if I bring that up, then it interferes with this. Now I could make this come up and bend and then come to here. That would probably solve that. But I got to go pretty high. I'm talking probably about at least an inch to get this to have any kind of movement down without hitting here. And I think that's going to be where the challenge is on this. I'm going to have to set the height of this to where it needs to be so that the kickdown works, weld an extension into my kickdown rod and get that functioning like it's supposed to, then worry about my throttle linkage. I did get the shift linkage all rigged up, and that's done, and that works good. So this is the last bit before I go underneath the dash and finish up the driver's side. All right, so I think I may have my height issue solved. This should be sitting at 90. I'll check the rigging in the book, but I'm pretty sure this should be at a 90 like that. And then that should give me plenty of down that I'll need without hitting my fuel rail. All right, so I got my height issue solved. So I got my spacers. I know what I need there. And I got my travel I need. I need to pull this arm off here, hook it up down there, and then see how much I have to add. All right, so you can see here, there's my kickdown rod, and there's where I need to go. So there's how much I got to add to this to make this show work. All right, so here's some rod that I have. It's a little bit bigger diameter than that, but it'll be fine. I'll cut it and put it down here, lower down where you can't see it. But there's my mark for cutting it. So there. And then on this one, I'm going to cut it right here, but I've also got, I get it to focus, I got a mark here and here to make sure that when I weld this back together, it's not twisted. Otherwise, these ends won't go in because they have to be exactly a certain way. So that'll give me a lineup mark for when I'm welding to make sure I got them lined up. All right, I'm gonna go do a trial fit and see what I got. All right, so you see I've got it now. It goes in. It's in at the bottom already, and we work. Yay! I had to get a little more. Ow, it's still hot. I had to get a little more bend here. That straightened that out. And I'm just going to dress this out now. All right, first problem solved. There you go, guys. We got it all dressed out. Looks really nice. So I'll probably go ahead and touch this up with some paint. But looks good. And the best part is it works. So there you go. We got it all cleaned up, ground, and painted. So let me go ahead and see if we can't get this installed, and then we'll worry about our throttle linkage next. Oh, it goes the other way. There we go. And that one's in. And that one's in. I just got to put the keepers on. All right. There you go. And now we operate correctly. Now we got the problem of this, the angle. See how the angle gets to be too high? It won't go through here. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to get the angle a little bit less, more straight coming through here. And I'll probably have to do some bending on this one to get it to the throttle linkage. So, well, guys, let me explain the battle that I've had all day long. All right, so I have been playing around with the downshift linkage, the throttle linkage, and every time when I use the pedal to operate it, it works great if I just, work the throttle linkage from here. Everything works perfect. But if I do it from the gas pedal, then this pushes, so this right here pushes forward like that, and it hits on the transmission bolt, and it gets all jammed up. And I could not figure it out for the life of me. I looked at my old pictures, tried to figure out, and the book even shows this, sitting like that, down and like that. What the book doesn't show you is that there is a bracket that goes from this transmission bolt to this transmission bolt up here. And it goes across there, and what it does is there's a bumper. You can let me show you, but you can see that bumper right there on that linkage, and that bumper hits on that plate that goes from one bolt to the other, and it keeps this from pushing forward, and that's what I'm missing. I don't know why it wasn't on this car, or possibly I lost it. That's very possible as well. I don't remember that bracket. That doesn't mean it didn't exist. It just, I don't remember it. So I'm going to fabricate me a bracket to go from that bolt to that bolt. That's going to go across and hold that bumper and hold this thing from being able to swing forward. Because when I hold this, hold that from moving, this thing works great. I don't have any problems. So I've been fighting this all day, thinking, oh, this angle's not right. I'm checking angles and all these things, and it turns out that it had nothing to do with any of that. It was this bracket that seems to be missing. I am going to make a bracket, and then I will show you when I have it installed and all working. Okay. All right, guys, I'm back out here in the shop. It's a cold morning, so. Having fun out here trying to make this template for this bracket here and see if we can't get this linkage finally figured out. So let me show you what I've been messing around with here. And all right, you can see my crafts carnage over here with my cardboard aided design. And here it is. Yep. You can see it right here, really thin, but there it is. And I just got it between them two bolts. And then you can see right here where this would come out and hit it. You can see right down in here. That's going to come out, and then it's going to stop right there. And that'll allow this then to do its thing without this shoving way forward, and it's not supposed to. Anyway, that's about as simple as it is. I'm going to pull that out. I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to get it cut. All right, guys, come on. Got it made. Let's go do a trial fit, see if we can't get this thing wrapped up. All righty. I remember which way it goes, but I'm not sure that it really matters. All right. There we go. See if the bolts go in. 1 and 2. All right, there you go. Bolts are in. Now I'm going to weld on a piece on top of that just to give it some strength, and we'll bolt it in and be done. All right, there we go. I got that brace welded on. That should be good and strong now. I'll clean this up real good and get it painted and put it on. All right, so I got it all painted up. Looks good. Not bad. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can't get this installed down there, and then re-hook up all my linkage and see if it works at the pedal, and then there will be much rejoicing. Well, let me bring you in and show you what I've got. It's all done. You can see it right there. It runs all the way up right to that bolt, to that bolt. You guys have seen all that, but you can see the bumper here, and it hits it now like it's supposed to. So, and all this, see how that works now, just like it's supposed to. But the best part is, let me show you. Let me get my foot in here, and now there we go. I'll work it from the pedal. Look at that. You can see all the barrels are opening. Kick down. There you go. Watch the kick down. Kicks down. Boop. There it goes. Oh yeah. Nightmare solved. Nah, it wasn't too bad. Wasn't that bad at all. Just I had to realize that I was missing that bracket, and that solved everything. Otherwise, making the adjustments for the linkage because of the adjustments on the engine wasn't all that bad. So if you are thinking about maybe going with a system like this, it's not that bad. I mean, I got some video out now that you can see it, so that would help you. But anyways, that's a wrap on our linkage. Now that this is done, what was I doing before this? I had to do something. I had to do this for something else. So what was it? I was... oh, I know. I was going to get ready to get up underneath here and tighten all this up. But before I can do that, I need the neutral safety switch in. And before I could do that, I needed all the linkage hooked up. So now we're doing a big loop back to under here. And let's see if we can't get the neutral safety switch in and rigged, and then get all the electrical tidied up underneath here. And then we can call that all done. We got the other sides all done and ready. So let's just get up underneath here. So this will be fun. Okay, so we'll go over this real quick. It's relatively simple. So what we're going to do here is you've got a rig hole here, a rig pin hole. So the procedure is basically to loosen these, which is easy because I don't even have mine on there yet. I got the screws here. So what I have done, if you look here, I have inserted the drill bit into the hole, and it is now holding the lever there in the neutral position. Okay, and that's part of the process that you work through going through the is to do that. So what next thing I need to do is I need to go ahead and put this in the car. We'll get these screws started. Put the selector lever on the column in neutral, and then adjust this until that is hitting on here. So I can adjust this until I'm hitting on the shift lever in the neutral position. I should tighten it down, and then I should be good to go and pull the drill bit out, and we should be rigged. So I just wanted to go over that with you because underneath there, it is very difficult to get to this as it is, and I'm never going to be able to do that with a camera in one hand underneath there. So I'm going in alone, and if I don't come out, call somebody for me, will you? Oh, well, guys, I made it. So I have everything tidied up underneath here. The pedals don't have any interference with anything. Neutral safety switch is in. And as far as I can tell, it's rigged correctly, but I really won't know until we actually try to start this thing. And we see what we get. So if I have to rig it a little bit more, I can adjust it a little bit. That's not a big deal. But we're getting cleaned up. The car's starting to get cleaned out. We're going to, get to this another time. This is for a whole nother time. Everything I'm doing right now is to try and get to where I can start the engine in the car. And that means a lot of things have to happen. So I've got several of them done. So let me see what I got left. Okay, so I just finished doing all the electrical that I need to do with the exception of the fuel pump, which I'll do when I handle the fuel system. So cooling, I'm waiting on the radiator and fan and different things like that to come in. So as soon as that comes in, I'll get that. Power steering, same thing. I'm waiting on my lines to come in. Brakes, I could jump on those. And fuel system. I don't have a whole lot left to do to try and get this thing to where I can get ready to turn the key with it in the car. Bet you can't tell what I'm going to put on next. Never guess in a million years. All right, we got the drive shaft in, and I just gotta tighten up the joint here, and then we'll have that done. So it went in fairly easy. It's kind of dark under here, sorry guys. All right, let me tighten this up. There we go. All done. Let's get out of here. Oh, there we go. All right, we got it. We're out. Whew. Okay, guys. Morning. It's cold. So I only got a couple of hours to work out here today. I'm going to be busy most of the rest of the day, so I didn't really have time to jump on anything serious on the Thunderbird. So, yeah, I gotta do a little maintenance on the truck. I thought I'd throw a little spice in this video for you, a little something different. Anyways, picked up a vibration in my truck shortly after coming back from my trip to Oregon. and kind of played around with it for a while, trying to figure out what it was. Turns out it's the drive shaft, probably the U-joints. More than likely the front U-joints are where it's really pretty bad, kind of ratchety and all kinds of weird crap. So I'm gonna go ahead and bust these off, go get some new ones, and we'll see if we can't get them on and get that vibration out of this truck. Okay, there's one. Come on. And there's that one. Okay, now I gotta press these out. There it goes. There you go. We're all busted down. There's one. There we go. All right. All right, I'll get this at the bench. There we go. All right, I'm just gonna repeat putting it in here, making sure I got my marks on here. There's my mark there, so I'll make sure that they're lined up. Whoops. All right, there you go. All done. All right, now let's get the front.
Well, I tell you, there's an awful lot of chrome here. This car's just loaded with it. And everything's got to be polished up. When is it going to end?
When you get this done, I'll take you home.
At least I got this, my fish Chick-fil-A.
Here we go. Got it all together. Got both ends. I feel much better. I'm going to go ahead and slide up underneath there and install this. And we'll take it for a run, see how she does. All right, we got the drive shaft in underneath. I'm going to just go through the gears from reverse to drive and make sure we don't have any clunking. Nope. Ah, nice and smooth. We're good. All right, we're going to take it out on the road and see if we can figure out if we got this thing licked or not. Let's go. As soon as we turn the corner, I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. All right, guys, we're cruising at 65. No vibrations. I think we got it. All right, let's turn this boat around and head back to the shop. All right, so how are we coming?
Well, it's polishing up okay. Just an awful lot of it.
We're gonna get all this done by the end of the day?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
How am I gonna tell the boss?
That could be a problem. I'm glad you're the one that has to deal with it. I get to go home. I hope.
All right, so one of the things that I need to do is I need to add a temperature sensor. I'm going to put it right here on the neck of this thermostat housing. There's one right here on the manifold, but that's for the EFI system. You can see it right here. Right here, it's plugged in. So we'll let that one run for the EFI, and then I'll plug this one in so that the gauge in the car has a signal as well. So we'll be running 2 of them. So let me get everything we need and we'll get that on there. Okay, so I've got an adapter to adapt to be able to fit the sensor itself. So I got to get the adapter in first and then we'll get the sensor in. Now we'll go ahead and get the sensor in. All right, and there we go. Plugged in, we're good. All right, so next on the list is I'm installing the coil bracket here so we can get that mounted and hooked up. So, all right, there's that. All right, so you see I'm hooked up. So let's see if we can't get this in here. Right about there should be good. Get the little guy. All right, everybody, there it is. It's all hooked up. Everything's good. We're tightened down. So we're moving along. Things are coming together pretty quick. Okay, guys, so now that I'm done messing with my dad, giving him a hard time, somebody's got to do it. There he is. See? Look, I keep him in a little corner back there by himself so he gets work done. All right, so we've tidied up several things, got the linkage and all that. Got a little distracted on my truck and getting the drive shaft. All done. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is crawl under this thing, and I'm going to get the exhaust, start getting the exhaust in, all right? So let's take a look at what we got to work with. Here's my exhaust. Some of it's already under the car. Yep. All right, so there you go. You can see right here, this is where I got the exhaust from. And they make it right there. I think it looks like the pictures looks like it's in somebody's garage. But I don't know what they're doing, but so far everything fits pretty good. So anyway, it's all in here. Looks like all the pipe is Atlantic. It's all made in Canada. 2-inch pipe. Yeah, like I said, so far I'm really happy with this. So let's. All right, so you probably recognize this from when I did the engine run. That was the part that I had coming off the engine. So I'm going to start there, get that all set up in there, get it tied up at the exhaust manifolds, get some jack stands up underneath the this end over here, and then start trial fitting everything and getting it where I like it. I guess it starts with me getting under the car with that piece. So let's get going on that. How we doing over here?
Getting to it. Getting a little more done. Boy, these are dirty.
You will have probably touched every piece of chrome on this thing.
There's more?
Yeah. Seats.
It'll be a while.
Guys, when they came up with the character Pigpen on Charlie Brown, this is it right here. Look at the mess he's got down there. It's like a big dirt pile.
That's that 40 years. Sitting there.
There's like a cloud of dust around him. Good help's hard to find. Okay, guys, let me get up underneath here and show you. There's what I got in so far. That portion is in, but I tell you what, there's a whole lot more room to install this on the engine run stand than there is under here. Anyways, that's tightened up, so I'm going to fit the next two pieces and see how that goes, and then I'll get the tailpipe pieces in and see if we can't make some sense of all this. But it looks good. Look how nice that fits in there. Not rubbing, not hitting anything. Just really fits nice. And look how nice and tight that fits up underneath here. See? That profile stays way up there into the fork, so you hardly see it. So, very nice. Alright, you can see I'm getting it. Got it where it comes up here. Runs along. And here's where it hooks into the muffler. Of course, it'll be up higher here. So I've got my clamps underneath here, the old rusty boys. I got this one. I got to figure out how that goes in there. The book shows you, but it's you know, a little foggy. I'm gonna test fit these up in there and get this thing all test fit. These will get cleaned up and sandblasted and painted, but for now they're just test fitting. So let's. They go. Where do they go? They go. Ooh, they go up in here, right by the shock tower. Where the shock here goes in, and then that'll go up there, and that'll hold on to it. There's two places here for the bolt holes to go in, so that's pretty much where that goes. So let me get started on it. Well, guys, I finished all the mock-up underneath there. Yeah, I got it loose now, you can see here, but you know, I really was kind of planning on welding all this together, but I don't think that's going to happen. I can't weld it in place because I can't get to the top side. And this thing's already a pain to get together and in here without it being welded together. So I got a feeling this is just going to end up being clamped together. I didn't really like that. I was hoping to weld it, but you do what you got to do. It'll be fine. So I'm pulling all the brackets or the hangers down so I can get them sandblasted and painted, and then I'll do a final install. All right, so let me get at that. All right, so I got it all back out. So I had it all in and mocked up. All right, so marked where I'm going to put my O2 sensor. So I'll drill that, weld a bung on there, and we'll get that. I'll weld this up. That comes in and out all as a unit, so it's I can just weld this up. That'll be fine. And there was one spot on here that I'm going to have to do a little tweaking. Let's see if I can find it for you. Where'd you go? There it is. All right, you can see the line right there. I need to move that in just a little bit. I'll heat it and smack it in a little bit. It's just hitting on the body right at that spot, and that's probably gonna be the easiest way to fix that. So anyway, I'll dig that, and then what I've done here is there's three pieces. There's this piece. There's a stretch that runs down the middle, and then there's the part that goes up over the back axle. So I marked how far they were down after I had it all mocked up, and it looked like we're good like I wanted it. And then I got a line here that continues on the other pipe, so I know how to. So outside of the car, I can line it all back up, weld it. So I'll cut it probably right about in here once I get it all welded up. And then I'm going to install a V-band clamp, so that'll be easy getting this in and out of here down the road. So, and I'll show you that when I do it. Everything's going to happen outside of the car now. So anyway, that's as far as I'm going to get today. it's temperature's dropping and it's getting colder and colder, and it's getting later and later. So I'm done for the day. We'll be back out though. And then here I can show you. Here's one of the centerpieces, and you can see my line right here, so I can line up. And here you can see my depth, and then my lineup. So here's my over the axle piece. I'll pull that out, and I'll do the same to that. So everything's mocked up. Everything went in the car good. So I got cutting and welding to do. That's next up. Okay, we got that, so let's work our way back. So let me show you exactly what I'm working on here. So get you to step back, engines attach here, and we're headed on our way back. So this is my first attach point, and what I want to do is this part slides over, and I'm gonna get that all the way up here. There's my mark. I'll line up this mark, I'll weld this on, and then here is where I'm going to put my V-bang clamp, which is just going to make taking the exhaust out of this car, if it ever needs to come out, a whole lot easier. The whole middle section will just come right out. This then just unbolts and can come right out. So makes it a lot easier versus just, you know, you put those horseshoe U-bolt clamps on here, and they squeeze that metal, and then it's hard to get it all apart again. Almost impossible sometimes. So anyways, that's the game plan. So this is the side I'm working on now, so I'm going to go ahead and get that welded on. All right, we got this piece welded on here, so we're good. All right, so I've got both of those welded on. We're done back there. Edelbrock says I need to put a bung on here for my O2 sensor. And here it is. And as close to the exhaust manifold as I can. This seemed to be as good a spot as I could find underneath the car. And it should be about 10 degrees off center. Horizontal line, so that's pretty close. 5/8 hole. Edelbrock calls for a 5/8 hole. That just did that there with the Christmas tree bit there, and you can see that fits really nice. I just need to weld this on there. There you go, all welded on. All right, this piece is just about done. So I got to weld the two end pieces on for my V clamp, and then this piece is done. So very good. Well, guys, I showed you this. We already got this on there. Anybody notice what I didn't do right? I know somebody out there had to notice. Maybe not. Let me back up a little bit and see if you notice. Where's that supposed to be? On that side of the bung. I got to cut it off and get that on this side. Dang it. Keeping it real here at exit 45. We're cutting off some welds. There we go. Look at that. Look at all he's got done. With the proper Chick-fil-A motivation, he can get a lot done. All right. Well, we're done for the day, so he left me a nice pile of clean parts and polished parts to put together and put away and be ready to go when that time comes. So, thank you. I worked him kind of hard today. He's tired and he's cold, so we're gonna go home. Okay, guys. Well, we're done in here for tonight. It's the temperatures are just too cold, and we're not heated in here in anyway. So we'll get back at it in the morning. Was it worth the Chick-fil-A?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's bring you in for an update on the muffler system, exhaust, rather. You can see I fixed my bung here for the O2 sensor and put my flange on the right side there so it would make it up there. So I got that fixed. And if we just take a step back, you can see there's my cuts right there for my V-band clamp. And there's my cuts there for my V-band clamp. And so this thing now is a 3-piece system that I can easily take in and out no matter what I'm doing. It'll come out very easy. So here it is. All right, so I am still waiting on those V-band clamps. They're supposed to be in today. I'm still waiting on them. So hopefully they'll get in or they'll make it on the next video. Well, guys, I think we're going to have to leave this video right here. I just ran out of week. So I think the only thing that I didn't really get accomplished or completed completely was the exhaust, and it's just waiting on those clamps to come in, the V clamps. So when those come in, we'll get that on the next video. So that's pretty much it for this week. I'm going to go ahead and shut up shop. I've got to, it got dark. I got to go to work. So I am done in here for the next 4 days, and then I'll be back out here. All right. So I'll catch you guys on the next one.